You guys. So I'm not going to be in class today because I'm teaching for Hiju. So this is what we would have done in class today. Let me just move a few windows to fit my recording. I figured I could give you guys a day off, but that's not going to help anything because you've had a couple of those already. You go away over there. And here. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of work with you guys with a gradient mesh, and this is going to be an exercise I want you guys to go through in class. I'm going to kind of introduce it to you, give you a couple tricks and pointers, and then I want you all to continue with the exercise, kind of working with each other, answering questions for each other with your peers, and helping those out who kind of are getting hiccups. So I'm going to place this pepper image. The pepper image is in Moodle. Oh crap, where are you, Pepper? Pepper. Pepper, 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 pepper. There you go. So this image is something that you have in Moodle in this week's content. And it's going to be the source for our gradient mesh. And what we've been doing so far is we've been working with shapes that are solids without much capability of doing real crazy color blends, like getting detailed with gradients that change and continue to change in other colors. We've been doing gradients, but they're kind of limited. So the gradient mesh is a really cool tool. I'm going to show you how it works. First thing I want to show you is a trick about getting color into your document from an image. This is going to be really helpful. I think when we do this, a couple of you are going to be like, oh yeah! It's going to be really neat because sometimes you might be like, what a great sunset, and I love the golden hour color of the grass on the hill of Waterworks or something like that. And it'd be great to have this as a color palette to keep. So what I'm going to do, I'll bring my swatches over here too. Since I have a new document open and I haven't created anything yet, there's no artwork besides just this image, I'm going to go to my swatches and my little flyout menu. I'm going to say select all unused, and so it grabs all of these swatches that are default in my document, and I'm going to click on the trash can. Do you want to delete the swatch selection? Yes, I do. So now it's left me with just the basics, so no colors, because what I'm going to end up doing is creating a color set or a swatch set out of the colors of this pepper so that we can sample them really easily while we create this gradient mesh. If I select my pepper, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to duplicate it and I'm option dragging it over to the side. And I'm going to do a live trace. And I'm going to choose 16 colors. And I'm going to watch this very slowly try to process the color trace. My office window is open. You might hear birds chirping. A lovely morning. Students are jogging along the art annex. You guys are next door with Dale learning something about being crazy. Alright, so it's traced. Now I'm going to open up my image trace settings. It's already open, but remember, if you want them, it's this button up here next to the tracing results. Image trace panel. You know what, it probably lives up here too. There it is. Image trace. Open that sucker up, and we're just going to change one thing, and that is ignore white. You might have to open the advanced deal. You probably will. You should always open advanced. Anytime you have a window, you're doing something, you guys are good enough now, and you're digital artists, you should always go to the advanced panels just to make sure that there's nothing there that you can take advantage of. And again we wait. And we wait. just so that the white can go away. Okay, so now I've got just the pepper selected. It's traced, but it's not expanded. So I'm going to click on my expand button, bloop, and now it's actually paths that contain color. So from my swatch panel here, I can go to my little flyout menu and I can say new color group. And when I have new color group open, it says, what do you want to name it? And I'll just name it pepper. And then you have the option of, do you want to use selected swatches? So you could have different swatches selected and create a new group from them. Or you could have selected artwork as your option. That's what we want. And we're going to include swatches for tints. I don't know what that really means, but we're going to do it. Okay. Boom, there's a folder with all the colors of my pepper. Well, not all of them. 16 colors of the pepper, which is really all we need. And you'll see that we're going to get a really nice looking image, better than the live trace did even, because there's no gradients happening in a live trace. So we'll be doing that, and it's going to be badass. With the set selected, you can choose to save the swatch to your library so that you had it for all the rest of your projects. If you don't, it's only going to be available for this project. So if it is your goal to take that awesome sunset picture and sample all the colors from it, and you want to keep it, then you'll have to save it and make sure that it's available in your library for future use. Okay, now I can get rid of that pepper. I would like to duplicate the pepper again though, just so I have it as a reference next to my artwork, my drawings. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a rectangle. And this rectangle, I'm going to start off as no fill, no stroke. And I'm just going to have it be roughly the boundary of the height and width of my pepper. This is very important for doing gradient mesh work. I repeat, this is very important. It would seem more intuitive to use the pen tool and outline your pepper shape and then use the gradient mesh, but the way that the gradient mesh works is it uses a mesh grid, and the grid needs to be assigned coordinates that are basically opposite each other and parallel and all that stuff. So starting with a rectangle shape is really your best bet. It gets a little tricky if you're trying to do organic things like, do someone's face from scratch. But as soon as you do this, you'll kind of get the hang of it and realize, oh, I could actually make someone's face from a rectangle rather easily. Alright, gradient mesh tool. It's located right above the gradient. And what you're going to do is you're going to start divvying this pepper up into segments, and it kind of has visual segments. This bump is part of this whole side here. There's a crease and there's a shadow, and then this bump is its whole thing right there, and then this one comes all the way down and goes up along the side there, and then we have one last one on the side. So we're going to kind of isolate these with points. So there's my first point, and I'm going to move it and start shaping this thing about like so. And there's little Bezier handles that will help form the shape. There's another corner. Whoops, I just added a line. You gotta be careful to watch the line. You don't want to add another line until later. So this guy is going to be located right about here. This will be the corner about there. I just added a line. You have to just, whenever I'm doing a gradient mesh, I have my hand on Command Z, because I'm willing to bet that I'm going to add a line and I don't want it to, so I fix it. Like that. We don't have to get this thing perfect just yet, but I'm going to get it pretty close. So there's my first top and bottom bump. Now I have to create the crease. So I'm going to click along the top or bottom and then move it to where the crease is, which is right about there. And this one's right about, dang, there. And then the bump of the second deal right about here and right about there. I think this one's, you can just move them out of the way real quick and figure out where that center point is. And then another crease. Don't spend too much time on your Bezier handles, because we're going to do that as soon as we get the general shape all figured out. So there's the crease, here's another bump. This bump is going to go right here, and there's a crease. That crease is right about there. This one I will go right here, and another bump, a corner. This bump right about there, and another corner on the side. And there's my rough pepper shape, only with vertical mesh. Now what I want to do is use my direct selection, my convert point tool, convert anchor point tool, Shift C, and I'm going to go and make all of my changes. And the reason you use this tool is because it allows you to split anchors, which sorry, I'm in my zone, which your mesh tool won't let you do. When you use the mesh tool, it it mirrors your points, which gets frustrating. That's weird. It should be showing me my handles. There they are. But what? See, it's mirroring now. Why is it doing it? No, it's not. Whatever. What is this thing? That's the crease. Okay. I'm using my command key to bring up the handles. And you'll also notice that I am, why isn't it doing it? There they are. Stubborn. I'm kind of bending these lines to sort of work with the shape of the pepper. So weird. So it's not all wavy. It's kind of consistent. You're not doing it. There you go. You're going to bend that way a little bit. Come down. Definitely want to get you. Uh-oh. I've gone into edit mode. That's okay with me. So you guys should be doing this with me. I hope you're not playing hooky. Brecker. Come on. There we go. You know what? I'm happy with this. It's good enough. Get out of my edit. Good enough. Now, these are all vertical lines, and we need to go in and start adding horizontal. So the first part of the mesh process, start with a primitive shape. Begin altering the form, and every time you click on a horizontal line, it gives you a vertical division. Now we're going to go in with that mesh tool, and we're going to click on the vertical lines, and that will give us horizontal divisions. So I'm going to start doing a little bit of this, and then get tighter at the bottom. If you feel like you need to get tighter at the sides, you can add some more vertical divisions. So now you can kind of see that there's an interesting pattern going on, and almost, if you get it if you work with it enough, it'll begin to look like a 3D a 3D fart rendering of your pepper. And it's picky. God darn it, it's picky. So I'm just going to move some of these points around a little bit just to make sure I'm keeping the sort of flow of my pepper. Maybe now I'll start going down. That's looking okay. You should come down. So fold, 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 and the bumps. Okay. There's a couple areas where you might even add a few extra divisions for highlights and stuff like that. I want you to get as detailed as you care to. I'm going to add another one here and another one there. All right, now it's time to start coloring. I'm just going to click. I'm going to select off of this thing and then back on it with my selection tool. And right now all my points are selected. And I'm just going to start with just a generic green. So I just went over to my color swatch and I selected a green. That means all points are assigned a green. And now with this reference, I can get rid of you. And now with this reference pepper off to the side, I can grab my mesh tool and start selecting individual points and saying on this top point it should be this bluish color, and maybe even this point below, which I can't get, I'll get it later. Grab this corner, that should also be the blue. And then here, oh my god, what's going on? I need to zoom in. A little bit better. I need to separate these. They're too close together, which can be a problem. Alright, so that guy should also be blue. You can see that as you assign a color to a point, the gradient starts to take place. So this whole top area is going to be this blue, maybe even a little bit more there, or I could try a different shade of blue. Maybe this guy. I just added a line, undo. That guy, boink. Not more. Now I can start referencing the rest of this. I think I do need another line right around there, which I can go to dark. Dark. Dark pepper. Because you can see there's the dark edge of the pepper. And it's here. and it's here. There's different dark shades of green you could try using. Over by this point, it's going to be like that dark, and by here, it's going to be this dark. And we got a nice dark area all along here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Moving too fast. Dark on this edge. Some of this green maybe. Along this edge, it's almost like a different bluish green. One of those guys. But then we got this highlight, so now I'm going to start addressing this highlight. This highlight is that bluish stuff. You simmer down. Come here. And more of that. And then by this point down here, we're going to have a different green. It's almost a more yellow green that I didn't quite get in my selection, but it's working. So you can see this already. I hate you. You can see how already it's turning into a pretty nice organic. I will do one. Okay, there's my shading that's happening, and this is something we haven't had control over yet, but it takes some time, and that's why I want you to practice this today. We'll be using this for the rest of the semester, obviously, to get, and for the rest of your life, to get more detailed work. If I was to do the stem, I would start with a whole another rectangle. Just goes straight up, something like about like that. And I would use my mesh. Oh crap. To start to introduce this form. You got to think about relationships of coordinates. Oh boy. You're going to have to go way over there like that and like that. This would just be so much easier if I was in your class, right? This little guy. Wait a minute, wrong one. Where are you? You're that one. Okay. And then, oh, that's a second path. Whoops. Yay. Okay. So there's my pepper shape, where I could then add, maybe a point along there, and otherwise it's not going to be too much work to get this thing to look the way that it should. Maybe a line there and a line here, and one right up there. So this guy is going to be more of this light green. Same with the middle. And up here. And the sides are going to be more of the brown. You get the idea. You're smart kids. Shoot. Nope. Anyways, you can kind of see how if I spent more time, I can get that looking even better with the gradients and stuff. So play with this, work with each other, answer some questions, and we'll come back on Tuesday, and I will get you going on your final project. Sorry I'm not in class. Have fun. Make sure to go to the Media Arts show tonight at the Missoula Arts Museum. Okay. How do I turn this thing off?